tile, mahogany and marble, the whole shebang. And that hotel had a good 50-year run. But by the 1960s, its rooms were too small, and other companies were building newer hotels downtown. And in 1974, the same family still owned it. They decided, we give up, this isn't working. There had been some fires and some problems. And 300 pounds of explosives later, boom, it was down. Now, Parkview Field up here is widely credited to be the project that got the new liveliness of downtown started. A lot of people don't realize that this end of it is a public park, and that on days when there's no games, the gates are open and it's free. You can just walk in there, you can walk around. Everything inside there is shut up, but you can walk around, and there's signs that tell you how long a lap is, so if you want to count your mileage and that kind of stuff.
I need to turn it.
And that was a good investment. And when we turn the corner and you get to see the Embassy and the Indiana Hotel, that was part of the 1920s boom of development coming this way and going that way in Fort Wayne. A really famous, nationally known theater designer designed the theater part of it, but Alvin Strauss, a very well-respected Fort Wayne-based architect who worked all over Indiana and the tri-state area, designed the hotel and the exterior of it. And you see the store windows that go along Harrison Street? Those are part of the hotel, and those are there on purpose because this was designed to be a businessman's hotel, and the salesmen who stayed there could rent one of those storefronts and show their wares there and sell them to people and demonstrate them to people. So that was on purpose. That's what those are for.
Nice.
And then furthering the development on down here, we have the Lincoln National Life Insurance Headquarters and the Federal Building, which was built, those were both built in the 1920s. The Federal Building originally was the post office and federal courts. The post office had to get bigger, so it moved out, but that's still the federal courthouse. And this is still part of Lincoln National Life Insurance Company. And across the street down here on the other side of good old Powers Hamburgers is the Baker Street Station, which was built in the 1920s as the Pennsylvania Railroad Station. During World War II, 3,000 people a day went back and forth through there, getting on and off of trains. And see that big clock down there?
Yeah.
That clock is made out of copper. It weighs 2,000 pounds, and it was originally in front of the People's Trust Bank on Calvin Street. But the architectural firm that owns that and has its offices in there saved it and displays it out in front of their building. It's also an event center. You can rent it. You can rent the big hall for events. Okay, now if we go under this railroad elevation, that's the Pennsylvania station. The Wabash Railroad passenger station used to be on the other side of the tracks, but that's been torn down. And as we come out here, we are entering the neighborhood that was known as Irishtown. In the 1830s, a lot of Irish immigrants came to Fort Wayne, and they dug the Wabash and Erie Canal. And they lived in this neighborhood from Fairfield over to about Calhoun and maybe Clinton Street. And this area became known as Irishtown. And that is why, as we come down here, we'll see that it has St. Patrick's Catholic Church. But by the 1920s, when the Irishtownness was waning, here's a building that was built to be a car dealership. The man who built that hired an architect to build this place. Remember, this is when the Embassy and the Federal Building and the Lincoln Life were there. That man probably thought the world was coming his way when he opened his car dealership there.
Do you mind making sure we stop at Butler for me?
Okay, we need to stop at Butler.
Butler, yeah, pass it.
No, I think we're almost...
yeah, I think we should almost be there. That was the second stop, so...
Yeah, Butler should be up here.
And anyway, there's St. Patrick's, and that was built from 1890 to 1917. This is because it's the church, it's a school, it's a lyceum, it's a rectory. And then gradually, the Irish town, so this was kind of the other side of the track sort of neighborhood, because the Irish were not well-to-do. But then, well-to-do people started moving in here and building beautiful big houses. And that have pillars and towers and porches and fancy windows and things like that. And then you get, Simpson United Methodist Church being built as a neighborhood church.
You said Butler? I think we passed it already.
Yeah, I
because
think
there's
so.
Pontiac. Sorry. I'm facing the wrong direction to see the signs. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Do you want to ride around again? Doesn't have is a big park, and this neighborhood has Reservoir Park, and it is named Reservoir Park because in 1880 the city needed a way to add water pressure to its water utility, so it built this hill, and at the top of it built a 4.8 million gallon concrete tank, filled it with water from deep wells, and then used the height of it to create water pressure to get the water into people's homes. That worked great for a long time. In 1916, Reservoir Park was the site of the city's celebration of the state centennial. They put seating on the other side of the hill to seat 14,000 people, and over a week's time, 50,000 people attended the pageant that they presented on a stage on the island in the pond over there. William Howard Taft, the president, came and gave a speech at the beginning to kick it all off. By the 1950s, the tank wasn't any good anymore, so the city needed to get rid of it. They wanted to just tear the whole thing down, but there are two problems. One, that was very expensive, and two, people liked the hill and wanted to keep it. So in the end,
I've been up there once.
they cut the top off the tank, drained it, filled it in, and left the hill. So now we have our great setting.
I like go. You can see everything.
You can see everything. Yeah, it's very cool. Okay, see this elevation here?
Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about this, and they talk about the north one because that was a problem. That wasn't finished. The north one wasn't done until 1954. This one was finished in 1923. So by the time we had cars, basically, this was elevated. It was never an issue down here. Now, and the Pennsylvania Railroad did that. Now, from here where the post office is, about 3 miles that way was the Pennsy Railroad shops. Huge industrial complex that built hundreds of locomotives and thousands of railroad cars for the Pennsylvania Railroad. We were big as a railroad center, and that was part of it. That was a big part of it. It wasn't the only shops the Pennsylvania Railroad had, but it was one of them. And we, in the end, didn't build the biggest locomotives in Pennsylvania. We built some of the fastest ones. Now up here in a few blocks, we'll go past the Arch office, my office, which is one of the oldest buildings in town. It was built in 1841. And it is the only building still standing in town that has documented Underground Railroad activities. There are other sites in town that were part of the Underground Railroad, but they're not standing anymore.
Right.
So this one is still there. It's right up here. You can see it on the left. It's a little green house.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then look at that right there real quick. That opened in 1924 as a filling station, believe it or not. It was advertised as Fort Wayne's most beautiful filling station, and it was Fort Wayne's first 24-hour service station. The part with the balcony on the second floor, that was the room where the overnight attendant could stay and sleep if somebody needed them.
Okay.
And there's the Art Museum and the Arts United Center. The Arts United Center is 50 years old this year, and it's old enough now to be officially nominated to the National Register of Historic Places.
Oh, nice.
And that is underway. It was designed by an internationally renowned architect, and it's a very important building. People come from all over the world to see that building. And here's the gas
There
house.
must be buildings.
And here's the gas house, which is called the gas house because when it was built by the predecessor of NIPSCO, they made gas here. This was back when you couldn't just get natural gas because you didn't have all the pipelines built. And so they put coal and coke and oil with steam under pressure and made what was called town gas. And that was done there. As you can imagine, that was a very toxic process. And that is why they keep having to do cleanups and delay projects like this. And that was why NIPSCO had to do remediation several years ago that closed halls for a while, which they used that time to do a lovely restoration of the inside of their building. Now on the left side here, once we get past the bus area, there's a little stone building. That's an 1852 building. That was on the north side of the canal. That is John Brown's stone warehouse. He's a stone mason. And he would get his materials off the canal, and obviously his building showed what he did, and he would get his materials, do his thing, and sell his materials. This side of the road was known as the jail flats, and it was where Fort Wayne did its hangings, which were a big deal back then, and people would come from all out in the countryside to watch the hangings, which I totally don't understand, but they did it. So anyway, there that is. And now we're pulling around and we're back.
Yeah. Good ride. ready to take off.
This one's so cute. I still think this is so cute.
The little one?
Yeah. Yeah, this one I'll get a special plate. It's so cute.
Yo, Super Blaster.
They may have been built of brick, but they were wood on the inside, and once they caught on fire, they burned. I have read old newspaper articles about fires that burned 3 blocks in this area. These buildings are relatively new enough that they are considered fireproof by the insurance companies. They're concrete on the inside. They have steel frames, and they are still here. Now, the oldest building on this block left on the landing is at the other end of it, on the south side, facing Calhoun Street. It's the Keystone Building where the prosecutor's office is. That was built in 1865. The other old buildings are on the north side, and they date from 1890 through 1917. They are fireproof, so they're still here. In the canal days, the buildings actually faced that way because the canal was where the railroad is now. But now they face Columbia Street, which before it was closed over there, went from here all the way over to the river and then continued on into what is now Lakeside. So there was this whole long stretch of Columbia Street, all of which was, related to the canal and then over here. And it was just warehouses and businesses and wholesalers, all that kind of business. But this is what it is now. The landing has gone up, it's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone down, and this latest really very good historical preservation project and renovation project, it's really on and up now. And you can see it's beautiful, people love it. A little girl on that last group, her dad painted the bison mural.
Oh, nice.
So that's really cool. Yeah. And because Fort Wayne has always been a transportation hub, first with the portage, then with the canal, then with the railroads, and even now with still railroads, but also highways, Fort Wayne needed what? Hotels, because there were people coming and going. So one of the themes while we go down this part of Harrison Street is kind of a hotel row.
Yeah.
On the middle of the south side of the landing was a big hotel called originally the Wayne Hotel. It was like 5 or 6 stories tall. Its last owner called it the Rose Marie, and it was destroyed in an arson fire in 1974. That parking lot is the site of the Randall Hotel, which was another 6 or 8 story hotel, and it was there, and it has been destroyed. Not that building where the parking lot is. And now today we've got a new hotel. The black and white building down there is the Bradley. That's a new hotel that's being built there. So it's still kind of got the theme going. And we'll talk about some more hotels as we go on down here. But Fort Wayne has always been a place where people come and go and they need a place to stay while they're here. So we've always had plenty of hotels. And this is one of the streets that had a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because the nickel plate station was pretty close here. And the Pennsylvania station is right down the street. So this was an easy place to get from your train to your hotel from.
Yep,
Hey folks, I'm gonna spin this wheel, see what I get. Bubble, yes!
Double bug.
Double bub, well,
There you go.
what? Oh nice, gum, it's gum, neat, thanks.
Oh, they're painting. They're painting. On the paint.
Race. Lawnmower race.
That would be awesome.
They'll go like 50 miles an hour.
Uh-huh. There's a...
Yeah, street cleaner. A street cleaner. Well,
This
so
is
you could
something.
just film some footage and I can use it for my show too then.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I got pictures, so.
I gotta take the ramp. Look, here I am trying to eat this. Walk my bike. Thing. Well, I've had a license to learn. I could be able to drive one of those. I just gotta
Oh, yeah?
reactivate my CDL if I wanted to, but
Yeah, that's if you want to, though.
that's I think possibly a class B. You gotta have class A.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 15-ish minutes. So we're trying to move us along to that building, but
I find this stuff on my show too.
yep, no.
On that spaceship up to, you know, the funkiness.
Ready?
Yep, I
Hey, folks, I'm
will.
gonna spin this wheel, see what I get. Bubble, yes.
Double bug.
Double bubble.
There you go.
What? Oh, nice gum. It's gum. Neat. Thanks.
Bubbles!
As much of that yellow thing that you see, it'll just drive it on the red side. There's a
Find a shirt.
It's time to move on, groove on. Before we get loose, dog. You know, God made me funky, and I'm glad He made me that way. Yeah, taking off on that spaceship up to, you know, the funkiness.
That's I think possibly a class B. You gotta have class B. Class B for people.
Oh, man, yeah. Oh, man. Wow, check that out. Oh, wow.
Yeah, street cleaner. You could just film footage and I can use it for my show.
And I got pictures.
I gotta take the ramp to the sidewalk.
That's awesome. Wow. That is.
Here I am trying to eat this. Walk my bike.
That's.
Well, I've had a license to learn. I could be able to drive one of those.
Really good on the spins.
Yeah.
You're white, so you gotta get hand sanitizer.
I got it years ago. I was it's what a stock man be like.
Something.
Sorry, I'm a sucker for that.
You fine?
Especially bubbles. I love bubbles.